Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the What's on Joe Mind TeamStream. It's 9 o'clock on Saturday. Weird. Like, you'd think we would, like, one of us would have enough of a life for this to not work. But
it's
no,
date.
Here we are.
It's date night.
Date night was last night.
No.
Friday night is
Saturday night.
Not around here, it wasn't.
That's for sure.
No, it wasn't.
I'm your host, Mike Irizarry. I'm repping the colors tonight. I'm going to be that guy. I'm going to wear the T-shirt for the band that I'm in. Joining me here in the top row, the former head of marketing for the G.I. Joe brand at Hasbro. It's the Hot Show, Mark Weber.
That's right, and I'm repping the colors, but I'm repping Sun Devil, baby, for life. That's
Love a bit.
I need to get a bend high hat. That's a good call.
Yes, you do.
That way I can be like one of those yahoos on Monday Night Football. Who goes,
Yeah.
It's your guy, right? You're just waiting for him to say it. Some Sun Devil up there, and he goes, Ezekiel Jackson, Tennessee, yo. And you're like, what happened to ASU? Or what Terrell Suggs for the Ravens for years would say, ball so hard, university.
Well,
I'm like, you went to ASU, man.
We're not here to crap on his personal habits.
I suppose.
In the bottom row, to know her is to love her. It's the Queen of G.I. Joe cosplay.
Hi,
It's everybody.
That's right.
Hi. I'm very
Also,
excited.
the goddess of the green screen about 20 minutes ago.
I didn't know I had it on. Why you gotta help me like that?
It's all legal.
When Joe Colton signed it,
because they don't know they don't know what you're talking
Oh,
about.
can you do it?
she had a green screen turned on when she logged in tonight.
Yes!
So yeah, we're doing some high tech What's on Joe Mind action tonight.
She is a sorceress.
I was like, what is happening?
Joe Colton is a brick house.
When she came on, we're like, what's the costume today? And she's like, what are you talking about?
She mighty. She letting it all hang out.
Do you remember last year when the Queen of England wore like a green screen colored outfit?
Yes, and it looked like just a floating head with no top. It was bad because her hat always matches her outfit. Right. And her bag. Cute little old lady.
Somebody turned her into Batman like in a minute. It was so good.
So, Mark Weber, what you drinking tonight?
Tonight it's Gatorade. And I don't know, my kids like Gatorade, so I get them the smallest possible bottle.
Why?
And there's like a national shortage going on. You
really?
can't find the little bottles, at least in New England, at all. So that's what I'm working off their supply. Because guess what color they don't like? Lemon lime.
Oh man, lemon lime's a winner.
I know, right? Derek will drink most. He's not a big lemon lime fan. And Elizabeth is like, I only like red. And I'm like, cherry or fruit punch. She's like, doesn't matter. Red. I'm in. So
I like blue.
I'm a big fan of blue too, but for me, I'm more of a Powerade guy.
Yeah, I agree with that.
What you drinking tonight?
I am drinking the ginger ale because I had a shoot and I need to
hydrate.
So I had my water. So
I worked 12 hours today, so I'm beering out with a Sam Adams Oktoberfest.
Have you had that before?
Oh yeah.
Oh, it's great.
It's good beer. It's good beer. It even says cheers on the inside of the cap.
That's cool.
Cheers. Are you celebrating the Red Sox exit from the playoffs?
No, I'm celebrating that it's 12 hours after my work started and I'm finally done.
Fair enough.
So that's what I'm celebrating. I haven't watched an inning of baseball since the Yankees left town.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I've kept track, but I haven't been watching it.
Yeah.
It was like a couple weeks ago when I found out it'd be Astros Red Sox. I was like on Facebook, let's go National League.
Right.
And that's where I'm at.
My good friend Jamie is a Braves fan, so I'm kind of rooting by proxy. So at least one of us is happy.
Yeah.
But that's about it.
I'd rather see Atlanta win, but I think the Dodgers have a better chance of winning, and that drama is great if it's Dodgers Astros. So
that's true. That's a great story if that's what happens.
Yeah.
This is a little one that's just for me. The cosplay from the Electric Company Spidey sketch, The Wall.
I forgot that Spider-Man was on the Electric Company.
Oh yeah, that Morgan Freeman was the guy dressed as the Wall too.
So wait, they were casting Spider-Man and a wall, and Morgan Freeman got the wall?
Morgan Freeman was on the Electric Company.
Oh.
He was part of the ensemble. He was Easy Reader. How do you not remember Easy Reader?
I was really young.
You were look, man. I'm younger than you, and I remember it. Of course, I did grow up in New York, where PBS reruns, like they're probably still showing those things. So there's a bunch of kids probably growing up on Zoom still.
So we've got our PBS recap, our baseball update, our green screen Joe Colton check-in.
For real.
Anything else? Anything else going on today?
Not at all, because we ruined all that news about a month ago.
Nothing.
But actually, no, we didn't, because Hasbro still had some surprises to pull out for us earlier today at Hasbro PulseCon. And we will get to that momentarily. We do have some news first. Before we get to the news,
You said news.
I said before.
Kind of Pavlovian.
He said the news.
No.
I heard the news.
Well, technically, you're correct. Yes, technically. And, as they said on Futurama, that is the best kind of correct. But
if you're on time, you're late.
That's Lombardi time.
Right? Yeah, anyways. If you're watching us tonight on YouTube, be sure to head down, give the video a like, subscribe to the channel, for crying out loud. We're stuck below 700. Like we're almost at 700 subscribers. We really need to get to 1,000 subscribers so we can do more things with this channel and get more into the algorithms and do fun stuff with you. So, tell your friends that we were the ones that broke all this news a month ago.
I got text messages today.
Right.
If you're watching us on Facebook, go ahead, leave us a little emoticon. Give us a thumbs up, give us a heart, give us a huggy guy. We love the huggy guy. That lets Facebook know that you're watching there. And of course, we appreciate everybody's support, whether you're doing this live, whether you're catching us tomorrow, whether you're catching us 2 months from now. Thanks for watching. We appreciate you. What was that?
I have to restart Windows later.
All right.
That was my quesadilla talking.
that was Joe's computer feeling the warm fuzzy of that sentiment.
Yeah.
There we go. Racktime Rob has given us the monocle.
Ooh. Mr. Peanut.
Yeah, that's in honor of the Dr. Mindbender reveal.
Yeah, right.
But anyways,
very Mindbender of him.
So first news item. And again, unfortunately, we got a sad one to kick off. Let me get to the news thing here. Where'd it go? Oh my God!
Did I steal it?
No, I haven't. Okay. Jack Angel, the voice of Wetsuit on the G.I. Joe cartoon back in the Sunbow days, has passed away. Get a little right up here. Passed away October 19. A former disc jockey, Mr. Angel spent 20 years on the radio in California before beginning his acting career as the Flash, Hawkman, and Samurai on Super Friends in 1977. From there, he quickly became one of those guys whose recognizable voice was heard in seemingly every cartoon. Along with his work on Super Friends and the second season of G.I. Joe, which included 17 episodes as Wetsuit and 1 as Thunder, standing in for Neil Ross. Mr. Angel was best known as Ultra Magnus, Omega Supreme, Smokescreen, Astro Train, and others on Transformers, King Zartan on Voltron, the Liquidator on Darkwing Duck, Nick Fury on Spider-Man, the animated series, and many others. Mr. Angel's voice also appeared in high-profile movie projects like Balto, The Iron Giant, the first 3 Toy Story movies, A Bug's Life, Lilo and Stitch, and we could list entries from his resume just all night. Frankly, he put that he had that many gigs that we all would have heard of. Jack Angel passed away a few days before his 91st birthday, which would have been Monday. And so the What's on Joe Mind team passes its sincerest condolences to his friends, family, and colleagues. And
that's some resume, man.
Yeah, it really is. He packed a lot for a guy who got started late. If you're only getting going in this in your 40s and then all of a sudden you're just everywhere. That's impressive.
Yeah.
But you can see there he was Rocky Gibraltar and Mr. Shark in Toy Story and Toy Story 2, and then he was somebody else in Toy Story 3. So if you're getting into gigs like the Toy Story movies, where it's just you're chock full of A-list talent doing voices, and you still get parts where you have lines, you're doing okay.
Yep,
you're doing all right. And he was working all the way until last year or 2019 or something like that. He was in pretty good health until the very end there. So good on you, Mr. Angel. We appreciate all your hard work. Next news item. It gets us already to the convention roundup. We've heard a few times for a few weeks now. We're coming up on the day. Saturday, November 6th in Des Moines, Iowa is assembly required. You can check out all the details there at codenameiowa.com, or you can look up assembly required on Facebook. They've got a great event page going on there. Lots of great convention exclusives that they're offering. Not figures, but certainly cool ephemera type things. Very throwbacky, very, very much connected to the 80s G.I. Joe that most of us know and love. Also this week, we got a heads up from our friend Skinny. The Grand Rapids Comic Con is having something of a G.I. Joe All-American Hero cast reunion. I guess real American hero, but whatever. Michael Bell, Morgan Lofting, Sergeant Slaughter, and Neil Ross will all be in attendance. And I believe they're doing a panel together. And that show is from November 12th to the 14th. So that's the week after assembly required, if you want to hit them both. So no conflicts there. And that's a pretty good bunch to have. We've had everybody but the Sarge on the show before, and they're that's a fun group.
I mean, that's royalty, right? As far as
absolutely
voices. Add Arthur to it, and that's kind of the list. So
I mean, we're a Bill Ratner show here on.
Bill. Forgot about Bill.
Can't forget Bill.
Yeah,
Bill's our guy.
Yeah, Bill's a guy. Also, at assembly required, RoboSkull sighting, right? Isn't that confirmed?
Yes. There is a There's a RoboSkull sighting on our Facebook page.
Man,
I'm gonna go check it out. Sucker's big.
Yeah, it gets around.
Yeah. And then, of course, rollout roll call. The UK Transformers G.I. Joe and Action Force show announced that they will have special guest Bob Brecken in attendance on Sunday, November 28th at Fordingbridge Town Hall in the town of the same name. Bob is just one of the best people. He is absolutely a gem of a human being. If you have the opportunity, if you're in the UK or if you're in Europe and you can get to this show, please do so. It is fantastic. Our good friend Patty Lennon will also be in attendance as a guest for the show. He will have the Action Force book, the extra copies. He will have them with him, so he will have books available to purchase if you did not get in on their Kickstarter.
Don't sell mine. I haven't got mine yet.
Well, you better get a hold of Patty.
I know. I'm on the list.
All right.
I know people. I don't know how to put this.
Do you know who I am?
But I'm kind of a big deal. People know me.
And that's my part of the news. We had to give some of the PowerPoint duties over to the honcho this week.
Yeah.
Because I had to work today, so I caught bits and pieces of our presentation as it happened, and caught the rest of it after I got home. So, Mark Weber.
Yeah.
We're going to turn the rest of PowerPoint duty over to you, sir.
It's so much power, right? I know I shouldn't have this much, but I'm going to enjoy it while I do. So
last time you had power like this, just the two of us.
It didn't end well, but I was in a
car.
It was a fun ride, baby. I was I was riding shotgun with the queen of Fast and the Furious in Mississauga.
Right.
So if I blow this up, is that working?
No.
Kinda.
Well, yep.
No.
Yes.
Maybe.
No.
Yeah.
Come on.
Sorta.
What's it doing wrong?
Why just go ahead. Open PowerPoint. We got 2 windows going. It's like we see it and then we see it again and
do presentation mode.
Yeah,
that's what I clicked. Hold on.
Man, oh man, Shevitz, Silent Bob.
We should have done this in the pre-show, huh?
Oh, we tried.
We did.
Yeah. So yeah, when I click presentation mode, because I run on 2 screens, it automatically goes. Here's what we should do. Drop me off, and I'll share the different screens. So eliminate my power. Stop sharing. I guess I can do that.
Well, I got it.
Okay. So now I'm going to share screen. I'm going to share this screen.
Just that one.
Yep. And then I'm going to maximize this, and we should be brilliant. How's that?
Dun, dun, dun. It works.
We have the technology.
Holly freaking Luya.
All right. I didn't work too hard on these. But they really did show us quite a bit. And pretty much everything they showed today, if you didn't catch it live, they gave us a real good shot of the figure pretty much live on a Lazy Susan turntable. And they had a really good shot from Corey, their lead photographer, who's brilliant. And then they had the artwork available for all of them. So we got pretty much 3 good picks and 3 good looks at everything they've done. So, and by and large, the panel was real smooth. They had an engineering guy, they had the sculptor, they had Lenny, they had the new marketing gal, and it was the tightest, best overall presentation I think they've done. And isn't this the most Joe news we've had dropped in one day in years?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, I mean, going back to our news break.
Yeah, well, I mean, other than us.
I'm going to be taking cheap victory laps all night, you people. All night.
I think that's enough. I think we should act like we've been there before, right?
Nah.
Yeah. You do the Barry Sanders touchdown.
I'm going to be classy and say those who said things that we weren't right and full of SHIT can now eat that.
I know a superhero in training I'd like to call out, but I'm going to let that go.
Speller's got to hit up the jar.
So
I spelled it though. It shouldn't count.
Right. I think she gets a pass there.
It's a 4-letter word. It's not like a 14-letter word.
One of the things they pointed out at the beginning that I think bears repeating, and I've been a critic of the multiple artists for the box art because I think it doesn't give you a good continuity on shelf. But the individual artists are all incredible, and the variety is always kind of interesting. And they said that the individual art is available for purchase as posters. And I haven't been here yet, but they said it was trendsinternational.com.
Yes.
So I think that's really cool. If there's
that is very cool.
Like as a one-off, I think they're fantastic. I wouldn't take that route marketing for a line. Then again, they haven't really been on shelves yet, not side by side for any length. I'm not saying it's hurting the brand.
Yeah.
But if supply chain was working how it was supposed to, and if these were on shelf how they want them to be, I think it is a hindrance overall to the line. But whatever. If you like the art, you can get the posters there. And the art for this bat is phenomenal.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. So, you know, I guess since I'm talking, I get to pitch. So, Mike, what do you think of this bat?
I dig him. You know, I remember years and years ago, I said to myself, hey, when 6-inch Joe is coming, and we kind of knew that it was, right? I was hoping that it would be something very different than what we had seen before. And it turns out that that's not what I wanted at all. So I have to turn back the clock to about 2017 and take 2017 Mike and just kind of give him a backhand to the head and say, dude, you were totally wrong, because this stuff that looks like it's coming straight out of 1986 is just awesome. From the bats to the Vipers to the everybody else, and we'll go down the list. You know, obviously this is our first stop on this crazy train. But love the bat, love all the details and the work that went into it. Lenny got to go on at length a little bit about how he was just fired up to do the robot after his long run on Transformers. He was just happy to be able to do the robot character from G.I. Joe. So, he got to really, really work on what it would take to make this thing look like it really operated. And that's neat to me. So, no release date on this one yet. They're saying it kind of got tied up with all of the supply line issues that we've got going on worldwide, but middle of next year
seems legit.
Yeah.
Joe, what are you thinking with the bat?
So I am not a fan of the bat, but I like this. I like it a lot.
So you're not a fan of the bat overall, but this.
Yeah, no, I'm not. But
gotcha.
Like this is beautiful, and the artwork is just chef's kiss.
Yeah.
I also like the photography that the Hasbro employee did. I was like, great diorama. Like I love the photo shoot that you did with the action figures. But I like the two heads. I like it's upgraded. It's not like boxy, sleek. It would be frightening to see that in real life. So I like it a lot.
Yeah, I'm digging it too. I like that they gave us two heads. They didn't have to do that. That's nice. Got all the accessories you could want. The removable plate that shows the gears behind it. Like, this is
which is different, right? Like you just had the window before on all of them,
right? And now you've got some armor.
Which is distracting to me.
You got some armor over the guts, literally, of the bot. So that's
which
cool.
would be more realistic, right?
Yep.
So. Yep. I like it. I like the backpack. I like the amount of gears he's got, like the contraptions or appendages or whatever they're called.
Yeah.
Yeah. Totally in.
The only slight criticism I have of this, and this is more front office than toy, is I don't know how you give Super 7 the green light to go ahead and make a bat when you've already got one coming that's pretty damn perfect. Like.
Isn't theirs like see-through or clear though?
No, I mean they might have a clear version, but
I thought they had a clear version.
No, he's talking about the
Ultimates version, the 7-inch guy they got coming.
Sunbow inspired Ultimates version.
Because it's pretty damn good, but it's also pretty damn close.
Yeah.
To what we've got here, and so now I have no idea, no insight into how that happened. If they told them and Super 7 said, ours is Sunbow, it's fine, we'll be good. Okay, cool. But I gotta believe there's a ton of Joe collectors who ordered those pretty expensive Super 7 bats that are hitting cancel order tonight and getting a cheaper bat from Hasbro on pre-order. So
you think so?
I think so. Because the Ultimates are expensive. They're like, what are they, like 44 each?
$55.
55 each, right? So even if you like them both equally, right? And yes, the Super 7 ones are larger, but I think a lot of people thought a 7-inch scale bat would work with classified figures because they're supposed to be hulking on some
bigger,
level,
yeah.
Right? But it wouldn't shock me if there weren't a lot of Joe fans canceling those Super 7 pre-orders now that they've seen this. So.
How this is just 6, right? This is just the regular 6-inch, not a 7-inch.
Right.
I don't know.
So
yeah, I don't know if it's too many. I'll be honest. I don't think it's going to be a real big
build these up. So I don't know. If I were people who loved bats, I would probably buy both. If I could. Because they're supposed to be bigger, right? They're not like the average size, right? So if we're going 6 inches, the average human size, these should be bigger.
Yeah, and I'm totally down with that. But if you take your Joe collectors are rather price sensitive, right?
Yeah.
So
that's a nice way to say cheap.
So give them the option of there's two bats. They both look great. One is 14% bigger than the other, but also 120% as expensive. So we'll see. Anyway, and that might be on Hasbro, that might be on Super 7. Maybe it's on neither, but it is curious to have two companies releasing similar figures
Mm-hmm.
in almost identical scales.
Yeah.
We don't know if it'll be simultaneously, but it won't be very far apart. So we'll see how that shakes out.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be too much of a concern.
We'll see. We'll see. So that's our B.A.T. Pretty much everybody likes the B.A.T. That's the general consensus online. Next up is one that I don't know if we learned anything new about this. Had we seen that sniper rifle before?
I don't think so.
It might be. I don't know. I don't know that we've seen that, and it's a beast.
Yeah.
And when the first time I saw it, I went, "Ah, Joe, I see Lowlight's weapon already sculpted and cast, right?" So this is the color changing Zartan, and they were very clear to talk about how it activates and that it's temperature activated. So as the Zartan figure gets colder, he gets bluer. So he gets a light blue, and then if he gets even colder than that, he can get this dark blue that we have in the photo down below. But this is the one that's exclusive to Hasbro Pulse and was available, I don't know, a little while ago. I'm not sure if it's still available, but it's the only place you can get it. So there you go. What do you think, Mike?
I mean, I dig him. We gushed about him a while ago, especially after we found out that he was going to change colors.
Yeah.
So nothing new to add there. He's still awesome. I'm still pretty
still like him.
Yeah.
Oh look, there's a skull face too, and I totally missed that.
That can go, I think, instead of the hood or maybe with the hood.
Yeah.
I'm not going to rip on a verbal slip, but one of the guys said this is from the iconic story where he kills the hard master and the soft master. And I'm like, ooh, it's not really how that went down, but I think it was just a slip, I think. So
it's okay.
Yeah, so we'll let that one go.
Hey, being on live TV is tough sometimes.
You're also very nervous. So.
I've heard that. Yeah. I've heard that. That whole
every Friday night.
That live stuff's tough.
Yeah. We dig our crowd of 53. Don't get me wrong, but that's a lot different than a crowd of
3,000.
7,000. Yeah. It was. Yeah. So it was a lot of folks.
Yeah. So anyway, there's not much new here, but it is fantastic.
I do like the art.
The art's great, and the color change helps. But by and large, this is what you should want if they're reskinning a figure, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So, yeah, fantastic work here. I think we're all.
I feel like I might get Wes to cosplay this.
Wes he could totally pull off Zartan. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Is he going to paint himself blue?
Actually, he did Andorian, so I don't think he has a problem being blue.
All right, good. Good.
Next up, and totally out of left field, never heard about this guy before.
No, we had no idea he was coming.
Great.
Wait, yes, we did.
It was bullshit.
And
we didn't know.
of the photography, this is
true.
probably
we did not know, but we did have strong inclinations.
Yeah. This is probably my favorite photo from the photo studio.
Yeah.
But why'd they give him the shovel? Come on. Put his weapon or even his flashlight in the other hand. Don't give him the shovel.
That's action shoveling.
Oh, man. And a little bit of glare on the tiger, but I think that was on purpose. I think they wanted to get the glare from the eyes.
Yeah.
The guy in the photo studio, no lie, he's an absolute wizard.
Yeah.
So that when I first looked at it, I went, oh, there's some glare on the torso. And then I went, wait, I think he wanted that there. He probably worked to get that right there. That's how good he is. So,
and then he didn't want to move the figure at all because he had the perfect lighting. So the shovel had to stay.
That was probably it. And then he added the rain and yeah. But
Matthew Comstock makes the very correct assumption here. Mark anything as a weapon if you're desperate enough.
Well, I suppose, but you can. Well, I guess we can't see the other stuff. So no, his
got a knife.
His pistol's in his holster right there.
Action shoveling.
Yeah. Anyway,
he's a great figure.
What, Joe? You go first. What do you like about this guy?
Everything,
including that brutal chest cut.
Even the brutal chest cut.
So I kind of like this version because he's like old man, bitter. Like he's been around for a while, but he's still fit.
Right. Oh, he's
and
ripped.
badass. I like the Tiger Force shirt. I love the art with the snake like going after him, and he's just like side-eyeing the snake.
Right. Whatever, bro.
Yeah, I like the head sculpt a lot. That beard is like, oh, so good. Bandana's great. The boots, like the lace ups, like even the wrinkles in the pants are good. Like I'm really happy with this figure.
And they said this guy it's a brand new sculpt, head to toe, and that he's a little bigger than the standard Joe. So they said bigger than Duke, but
Like
smaller
wider?
than Roadblock.
Oh.
So he's a bit of a tank.
Okay.
Which is kind of cool too. So,
and that's a part of that character that I don't think fits.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah,
why?
Because as a survivalist, he's used to going out and living on nothing. And if you're a big tank of a guy with giant rippling muscles, it takes a lot of calories to do.
I don't know. I've watched Survivor. There's been some muscular people out of that thing.
Yeah, and then by the end of it, they're skinny muscles. But like, I'm not saying he shouldn't be shredded, but he shouldn't be big and shredded. He should be that skinny, wiry kind of shredded.
I don't know. I kind of like him.
They said they sculpted arm hair on him.
They did. That's an awesome sculpt. Make no mistake.
Yeah.
Regardless of if I think it fits Outback or not, it's amazing work.
I do want to give them credit for making this a brand new sculpt head to toe, because you could have built this pretty credibly out of existing parts.
Yeah.
And just added the right web gear and but they said brand new head to toe. So that shows some depth of tooling allocation, right?
You know what would have helped block out the chest cut, Mark, is if they had gone with the old school design of the kitty t-shirt.
It's with a smaller cat head, or
no, with it's a bigger cat head on the old one.
Oh, okay.
It takes up the whole midsection as opposed to just that one, which got
and then you could articulate the jaw by making him crunch his ass.
Right.
So good. And this is something I actually kind of like, because this is a beloved version of Outback, but it's not classic Outback, but it's totally fine to do a secondary version first, right? Sometimes it's better to get a less iconic look out. Not that there's anything wrong with this, but people will scoop this up because it's the first. And then they'll buy it again when they make it kind of the A+ version, and that'll just be paint down the road. So some people argue that this version's superior, but this one doesn't have red hair, so I don't know how I could say that.
Action Figure Expert asked, quick question is when we'll get a regular white shirt with survival version of Outback. We don't know, but safe to say that that's in the hopper for at some point, right?
Yeah. And that's a custom even I could probably pull off. So
yeah.
Anyway.
That's so easy you just might not want to pull it off. That's almost too easy for lazy bastard custom.
Right. So this is except for I would do the survival by hand and it would look atrocious. But fine.
With a tip pen.
Yeah, that's it. Sharpies fix everything. So this guy is a Target exclusive. Pre-orders are up now, and I'll give them credit for this. They did acknowledge, it might be the only time they've done it live, that they said something like, and I quote, but I'm not really quoting them, we know Target has had some issues with their pre-order systems, but they assure us they are working on them and that they have increased their pre-order allocation. So that's probably as good as you're going to get from an official toy company, but they did acknowledge it. So
especially about their biggest retail partner.
Exactly. So I like that. So moving along with the Target exclusives, next up was the Python Patrol Viper. And I'm not even going to say a word. I'm going to give it to Joe first. What do you think, Joe?
So I like Vipers. They're one of my favorite figures. I also collect a large number of them. My only issue is I think I prefer the goggles already on the helmet.
Mm-hmm.
Just because they're always done like that. I don't know. It looks weird without it, but I like it. It's great. I like that the hash marks are lined up. I like that they did the inside of the thighs yellow. I know that some versions didn't they got lazy. Didn't do the inside of they had the mold but not the coloring. Like his weapons. It's a nice figure. I'll get it.
You'll get as many of them as you can find.
Right. Mike, what do you think?
I am stunned that this figure is in the marketplace. I don't know how such an idea even congealed in the heads of the Hasbro creative. Wait, no, we told you all about this one too.
But what's important, Mike, is you're not bitter,
right?
Or gloating.
I'm absolutely gloating. It is.
I like that you're channeling Seth Rollins.
It is an ugly gloat. I'm going to go entertaining comedy. I'm going comedy heel on this show. But no, I am with you on this one, Joe. I'm a big Viper fan too.
Yeah.
I for a while in my collecting career, I was more of a blue shirt guy, but then I came around and saw the light.
And became a Viper guy.
I'm more of a Viper guy now, and I will add as many of these to my collection as I can until I get to 4, and 4 is kind of where I'm capping out on the classified stuff.
So the art on this one gets me excited. I gotta say, I want this as a poster, but gigantic and more of them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's big, and I like that they're showing very clearly troop builder on the art, right? Get as many as you can. I was never a Python Patrol guy, never was. So I won't get a bunch, but I'll get at least one.
Yeah.
But the one thing that drives me nuts is that the padding on the inside of the thigh, that's a mistake, right? It's not that everything has to be accurate to the original. And I don't want to misconstrue myself here. But the padding on the upper thigh goes down to the cut and then switches to the inside, right?
Yeah.
It's a mistake. And I know this was slated as a straight repaint, but if you have something that is that blatantly wrong and called out by the color break of it, I think you got to fix those lower thighs or upper thighs. To be accurate, it should be on the outside. And
it should be on the outside.
That would require brand new tooling for that part, but I would have fought for it.
Though. You've seen it on the figures where they have them not colored, but the padding is on the inside of the thigh.
On the classified figures?
No, on past figures, they've had them.
Maybe on some, but on the Viper, it was always on the outside of the thigh.
Yeah.
That red panel going all the way down. So I assume this just got twisted in the process because I don't believe anybody would do that on purpose and go, "Yep, looks great." It just doesn't make aesthetic sense. So if I were involved, I would have pushed for, look, we're going to do it as a 90% carry forward, but we're going to redo these 2 thighs. And I know that's where it gets dicey at Hasbro because that much of a change means cost you an item. Yeah. But it doesn't feel like they're getting squeezed on item count like they used to be. So
what's important is you're not bitter.
That wasn't too bad, was it?
No, we really
You're great.
I feel that was pretty diplomatic.
It was a chance for me to get my catchphrase in there.
I suppose that's true. So anyway, here, Python Patrol Viper coming soon to a Target near you. Or if you want, I don't know if pre-orders are still open, but if you can, get in while you can so they can cancel this on you later.
Yes.
As you know, my catchphrase, Target's going to target. Kind of their thing.
Get that second one in there so you can promise it to Mark.
Yeah.
And then get back to him after they cancel.
Yeah, I know a guy who still collects Joe but doesn't support Target. So see if you can find him. Next up, Joe. I want to see where Joe is on this because she likes Python Patrol but doesn't like bats. So
Joe is not a fan of robots.
No.
I don't like this one. I don't like the top being the color of poo. and then the bottom being gray, and then his boots being yellow with gray or black.
It's not the color of poo.
If
that's the color,
it is the color of poo.
If that's the color of poo, then you need to visit an endocrinologist because that's pretty red.
His shirt looks brown. The helmet piece looks red.
She got a point there.
It's kind of a mesh red though. So it's
you're a mesh red, not the chest part, the actual shirt part.
Yeah.
Looks like poo. I think this is fucking hideous.
Easy.
Swear jar.
Easy.
Yep. Yeah, I'm not really a fan. Not really a fan either.
I don't know what happened. Like I feel like somebody took they're like, how can we make this Python Patrol? Let's just try something. And they blindfolded the new kid and said pick 3 colors, and that's what he came up with.
The 3 colors are consistent with the 3 colors on the Viper. I'm with you guys. Actually, if we got one that disappointed a little bit today, this is the one.
Awful.
This is the one. I don't like the red shirt with the gray pants and
it's brown.
It's like a weird midriff muscle shirt. So this one it doesn't work for me either.
So the hatch is fine, but they didn't if he was gray and had the hash,
Agreed.
The grid,
that
would be a red grid across the gray as the gray top. Fine, which would be okay, and then the hatch would be black with the red grid. Great. I don't know. It looks awful.
I think it also suffers from being announced the same day as the perfect, damn near perfect vintage bat is released, right? If this had come out a year from now, I think we might have had a softer review of it. But it came out the same day as that brilliant bat came out. So it can't help but be held up to the same standard.
Right. I don't know.
Hey, look, when you put clothes on your robots, your robots are subject to fashion critiques.
I guess that's fair. I love the photo, though. The photo's fantastic.
Yeah, the photo work is great. The artwork is good. I'm going to grab one of these, but probably just the one.
Just one? Yeah, I'm saying.
Nope, I'm out.
Not going there.
You hate your robots.
But she's consistent, so I dig that.
I like the other bat.
That's true.
Gotta be good robot.
Next up, hey, look at this.
Hey.
So
he's not bone colored.
Another completely out of left field selection. I don't know where this came from.
This guy's really good. Mikey, what do you think?
He's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
He has muscles.
I am thrilled that if we had to wait for Storm Shadow, who I remarked some episodes ago was the one indispensable character that we had not gotten in this line yet. This makes that wait worth it because wow, he's awesome. He's incredible.
And the one thing they mentioned that's an update that I just dig like crazy, and none of these photos show it real good, but on his right hand, that's an archer's glove, right?
Yeah.
Just the 2 fingers in white and the other 2, that's fantastic. And I looked at this and I was just, blown away. Just fantastic. Exactly what you would have wanted. And then I looked at it a little closer and I can't stop looking at his feet.
Okay.
It looks like slip-on Skechers.
They're tabby boots.
Well, it just looks like slip-on shoes to me, right?
It's because of the ankle.
Yeah.
Maybe he's got little claw things on there for scaling walls.
I don't know.
Tabby boots.
It looks a little too. What's the word I'm looking for? What's those shoes nobody likes to wear that are made of rubber?
Yes, Diana. I also noticed the perky butt.
Oh, perky butt.
Perky ninja butt.
Right.
What I was looking at here, and that's why I included the direct side angle here. Look at how wonky he looks from the side because of that stupid chest cut. Good thing we have that articulation. Yeah, because it looks like his body comes in 3 pieces: legs, lower torso, and then someone lowered the top onto him so he can fold in half.
I believe that's called a thorax, sir.
That looks ridiculous.
It looks like he took out the bottom 2 rib cages.
Yes, so bad.
Also, his chest looks very bubbly compared to that like itty bitty part right above
You're right.
the belt.
You're 100% right, Joe. But other than that,
I think the posing on that one is more the problem than
Yeah.
the actual proportions of the figure.
but it's got such posability, Mike, with that cut right in the middle of him.
Look, I don't like it any more than you do. But
You like, yeah, no, everybody likes it more than me.
well, that's true. Okay, yeah.
But
I don't like it, but by
Yeah.
default, I like it more than you do.
Yeah, well, that's true. But
Fantastic figure, brutal chest cut aside.
yes, that's the only blemish on it, really. All the stuff loads on the back, like you can see. Just yeah, fantastic. Well done. I think everybody likes it. Yeah, Joe.
Question from James, aka Ratface44. I believe all the joints are pinless.
Oh, I didn't think about that.
And yes, I think all the joints are pinless. Period. Going for, I think Zartan was the first one to have all pinless joints, and since any figure tooled after Zartan has been with the pinless model.
And that might be the indirect answer on why Outback was sculpted brand new, right? If they were going to have to go to that much trouble for the joints, maybe it's new.
Some concert news for you, Mark. Brutal Chest Cut is playing the second stage at Coachella.
That's outstanding. They're opening for Blink 182.
Right.
It's going to be a good show.
You kids of the early aughts are going to have a great time.
It's going to be great. So everybody's happy with Storm Shadow. He's looking good. Next up, look at this guy.
It's Storm Shadow's ancestral enemy.
So here we are with Spirit. Joe, your take? Joe?
He's just magnificent. he just, it's a great update to a character. Like the head sculpt's great, the hair looks great, the shirt looks great.
And Spirit is one of your favorites, isn't he?
Yeah.
Top 5 for you.
Well, I've done over 20 costumes, but yeah, Spirit's up there. Rifle, like, whew. It's just a very clean update, and I like it. Like, the articulation on the bird, like, come on, like, yes.
Yeah, when I first saw the bird, I'm like, well, he's kind of static, isn't he? And then they showed the separate wings you can put on him, and I'm like, yeah, okay. Fine.
All right, you've got me, right? Yeah.
And I like the perch that they added to the backpack that he didn't really have originally, but they gave him the Falconer's armband. Like,
yes, I did notice that.
And I got an email from somebody earlier today who said, you said they were going to totally change him, right? And they didn't. So what do you say now? And I'm like, well, I mean, they got rid of the dart gun, right?
Yeah.
And they got rid of the loincloth.
Which is nice.
And the moccasin boots. So,
right.
So they took away some of the, I think, fair to say, stereotypical elements of him and left in
if the devil is in the details, they got rid of a lot of devils.
Yeah. Absolutely. And they had Taboo of the Black Eyed Peas introduced this, and it's a celebrity on some level, but he is Native American, and apparently it sounded like they consulted him, and he worked with some members of the Navajo tribe on what this should look like.
Which is impressive because I absolutely love the poster, the coloring, the symbols, the shading, the different the wings and stuff that are on all of the design. It looks really nice. Especially like it was done in the art way that Native Americans do their art. So it was very respectful, I think.
Mm-hmm. And they talked about it that it is a Native American artist.
Great.
That
I missed this, which is
outstanding.
Yeah, if this was a poster also, like if I could get this as a poster, totally. So
Mike,
I'm getting this. Like this is amazing.
Mike, what do you think?
I think he was the absolute cream of the crop that we saw today. Just a fantastic update. They even figured out ways to make his brutal chest cut not so brutal by covering him with gear.
Yeah, I've seen worse.
Yeah, it's not so bad. It's not so bad.
And I hate that the knives are that way, that they make the knives handle up, which are slower and more dangerous to draw from, to pull. But at least they sunk it a little bit here, right? Like that Cobra Trooper has the handle of the knife is by his ear.
It's right up in his chin. He's gonna lose. Somebody gonna kick that knife handle, and he's gonna lose teeth.
Yeah, I pretend it's a radio antenna, but at least it's a little bit sunken here. And they also said that on his file card or his write up that they're going to list his role as sniper, not tracker, which again gives him a more traditional military specialty and not something that would be stereotypically Native American. So
kick low light on down the curve a little bit.
Oh yeah, Joe, I'm sorry about that.
Down to the second string with you, pal.
And they already made his rifle for Zartan, so
move on up, Ricondo. You're on the A list.
Oh, now we're talking. So that's Spirit, just an absolute runaway hit. But some people would argue not the best thing we saw today for classified, because look at this guy. I mean,
you know what? The competition for Spirit for best figure is with the Croc.
Yeah. So the
Croc Master's great. Don't get me wrong, great figure, but that Croc, oh my God,
they didn't focus on the Croc enough because the jaw is spring loaded, I think. So you can pull it up and have it snap down.
Yeah.
Like, Lenny showed that during the bit, but they didn't focus on it, I don't think, enough. And the tail is soft-ish plastic with a bendable wire inside it.
Oh, so you can.
It's completely posable. So yeah, the Croc is worth it. And they said if you straighten it out, nose to tail, it's 12 inches long.
Oh wow, a foot?
It's a big Croc.
Fiona's a big lassie.
I'm excited now that I know that she's a foot.
And she comes with 2 baby Crocs she can carry in her mouth, which is what real crocodiles do apparently. So okay, dig it.
Sure, but it's fantastic. It's absolutely fantastic.
It's great.
There we go. There's Matthew Comstock with our comment of the day right there. Chuck Norris checks under his bed for Crocmaster. Yeah. Yep. Yeah. Chuck Norris ain't alone.
Yeah.
We'll take a time out here. We've got a lot of folks in the live chat today. Make sure that you are giving our video a like. Make sure you're subscribing to our channel. Really appreciate it. We're still trying to push up to 1,000 subscribers. So if you are not a subscriber to our channel, you're watching this live, please take a moment and do that now. If you're watching this on recording, please take a moment and do this now. If you're watching us on Facebook, go ahead and give us some kind of a reaction now. Give us a thumbs up, give us a heart, give us a huggy guy. We love huggy guy. Just to let Facebook know that we're watching. And let's get back to Crocmaster.
I mean, he's really close to the original. They talked about how they patterned the vest on the front and the back to be actual crocodile skin that's on him. Like,
yeah, he's got like fin scales on his back.
Yeah, he's big time. Like, yeah. And if you know Lenny, or if you've gotten to know Lenny at all, Lenny is all about robots and dinosaurs and reptiles. Like, those are his things. So you can see him. He's always hype, but when he was talking about the B.A.T and this, like, yeah, this is exactly why little boy Lenny decided he wanted to make toys. And now he's doing he's always done cool stuff. But this is the stuff that just makes his heart sing, and you can tell. So
yeah. We had it was a big day for Lenny today. He was beaming the entire time. Every time I got to see him on screen, his teeth from ear to ear with Lenny. So and man, you could tell because the Crocmaster and B.A.T were clearly personal favorites of his, and man, he knocked them out of the park.
Well, and the fact that the Snake Eyes with Timber level of price point has been a hit opens up so many things for him to be able to do, right? Because you're not hamstrung by that $24.99 price point. Now you can go a little bigger if the right situation comes around. So kudos to the Crocmaster. He's killing it right here.
Yeah, absolutely. And with the pre-orders, he was the one that I missed out on, right? So I came home, I told Rob, I was like, hey, I missed out on Crocmaster. Who's like, oh no, that's a general issue one, remember? He's gonna be everywhere. You can order him anywhere. I was like, yes, and little tears formed, and it was a stressful day at work. So I was very happy to have somebody straighten out my thinking and say to me, hey, you can still get a Crocmaster, no problem.
Yeah, I think for what we saw today, the only stuff that was Pulse exclusive was the color changing Zartan.
Yeah.
The thing we're going to show you next, which is probably for the overall Joe community, especially because a lot of this got spoiled a month ago. Probably the biggest news that we had dropped today, or at least a tie for it. Look at these guys.
Right.
This is a 2-pack available. This is the other thing that's Pulse exclusive. But these are O-Ring Joes. And it's a Snake Eyes Storm Shadow 2-pack. It's available on Hasbro Pulse. They come with some extra stuff, but by and large, it's version 1.
Yeah, it's Commando Snake Eyes for everybody wondering. It's version 1 Snake Eyes.
And they said out loud that they consciously made that decision, which I think is the right one, because they can get some play out of version 2 down the road.
Sure.
But this is good. The only complaints I have here, there's nothing wrong with extra gear. If you don't want to use it, don't use it. But my only complaints are a little bit semantic and one is weak sauce, I know, but put Storm Shadow's backpack on correctly before the photo shoot, right?
Fair enough.
Yeah. And then for the art, which looks great, that sure looks like version 2 Snake Eyes. Right?
I didn't get a chance to look at the package art, so I'll take it. It
looks really small, yeah.
It's version 2 with the diagonal bandolier and the sword with the sharp tip. And then the Storm Shadow up top, he may or may not have the backpack on wrong. I'll give that a pass. But the swords he's got 2 katana. They're both equally sized. And supposed to be a katana and a wakizashi. So, yeah, it looks cool, but it wouldn't take much to get it right. Especially using the wrong friggin' Snake Eyes. So, yeah, that's my nitpick comment of the day.
Tim Peterson did some art investigation and says the carded figure inside has the right art. Thankfully.
Well, I'm glad. I'm glad they got it half right.
Man,
what? Tough. Do your job.
Tough tonight.
I don't want to go. No, not tonight.
Well, that's true.
I don't want to go Belichick on people, but do your job. That's your job.
That's fair.
Do your job. So there you go. But we probably didn't focus on it enough. This is the return of O-Ring Joe, which a big section of the collector base has clamored for since what? 07?
Yeah, since 25th anniversary.
So, and they didn't talk at all about the continuation of the retro program at Walmart at all.
No, I believe it was mentioned in passing that the retro line is going to be this O-Ring line now.
Okay. Well, I mean, I don't know if that's good or bad, but I know there's a portion of the community who thinks it's phenomenal.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, it's a shame that they're stopping they appear to be stopping the retro line right as the retro line was getting good.
Right.
I mean, those first couple of waves were pretty, I don't want to say they were bad, but some of them were better than others, and none of them were particularly essential.
Yeah.
But at least, that Stalker was fantastic. Grunt was a much needed upgrade over the Grunt that had been there in the modern style to this point. We had all the parts in place for a zap and a short fuse that don't look like they're going to get made now. So, yeah, I do have I think there's a little bit left on the table for the retro line, and I hope it's not gone, but it kind of sounds like it's gone.
Two things they mentioned about this are that the forearms and down, lower arms of these figures are made of a PVC plastic. So they're a little softer to let you hold the weapons better. That's nice. And they made a big deal about this, that the O-ring is now, they called it food grade silicone O-rings.
Yes.
So they'll last longer. So if you're a mint and package guy, that's great. If you're not, you probably weren't worried about replacing an O-ring down the road anyway. But fine. So here we go. And Joe, these could be red ninjas with just a little bit of effort. So
I heard Rit Dye's making a comeback, so there you go.
Moving on.
Joe Colton, by the way, is standing because she gave herself a Charlie horse somehow.
No, I have a cramp.
Stretch it out, walk it off, put some tussin on it. You'll be all right.
There you go. Rub some dirt on it.
So the other gigantic news, maybe a tie for first, is, I mean, look at this thing. The very first HasLab for G.I. Joe. And it's a beauty.
It is. And again, kudos to them for keeping this under wraps. Because nobody had this. Nobody saw this coming. And there's a lot of, there's some head scratching as far as why this is being done for this new O-ring line as opposed to the 6-inch line, the classified line. And it's really, there's not a lot of options for tenable vehicles in that 6-inch scale. There's just not. So might as well kick off the new line with more of a splash. And frankly, our Robo Skulls have to fight something.
Right.
And this is most certainly a worthy G.I. Joe adversary for your Robo Skull. Joe Colton is getting 4 Robo Skulls, I know. She's in for 4. And this is the question I keep seeing again and again too, is does it need to be a HasLab? Yes, it does. Because the one store that was willing to give G.I. Joe shelf space for $100 vehicle, and that's $100 if we grow in mass retail, they closed a couple years ago. So yeah, if it's G.I. Joe, it has to be a HasLab. If it's something like Star Wars, it would have to be something pretty iconic to take up that kind of shelf space. We're talking X-Wings or TIE Fighters or Millennium Falcons, that sort of thing. Like that's where we're at with big vehicles in toys, even in this scale. So yeah, it did have to be a HasLab, especially right out of the gate with a brand new. Well, I don't want to say brand new because they're really just redoing what they did 40 years ago, but a reintroduced style of figures.
Yeah. Now, bear in mind, the last Sky Striker they made, the 1-seater, was a pretty damn good vehicle.
Yeah, it really is.
And it did not turn real well.
Right.
So this is a really good litmus test for 3 3/4, 4-inch Joe. Is will fans back this at it's $230, and I've got a bunch more pictures here. It comes with a lot of stuff. Yeah,
they loaded it down with extras. So
yeah, it is some of the expenses. This is officially licensed because they did a Transformers Top Gun crossover with Northrop Grumman for the F-14. So they already had at least dialogue in place. So this is a legit licensed F-14. Comes with a sticker sheet that reflects that. Cloth parachutes, secondary pilot, because I think it's Wayne Ruthell was always the backup pilot.
Now we have a Wayne Ruthell. I'm just going to call mine Sean Russell.
I mean, yeah, exactly right. But I hope it gets a code name. What else do we have? The support vehicles that come with it for the refueling and the weapons. All the weapons effects. When they first showed it, I thought, a stretch goal should be the black tail fins, right? And Not even a stretch.
Not even a stretch. Right there at the beginning.
Included as part of it. That's a really good grab. Good job by the crew. Ace and Rutho come with helmets. They're just shown in the smaller photo there. And then, let me see here. Stretch goals.
It should add, too, that the Sky Striker is going to have separate levers to work the sweep wing action.
That's
and
right.
Landing gear. It's not all just one with the one lever anymore. There's going to be one lever for each.
Yeah.
So
very, very, very cool. And they went into great detail about the cockpit, like it's a good looking cockpit with a pilot joystick and actual, stuff for them to work on.
Right.
So it's pretty much everything you could want in a Sky Striker. And then these 3 unlocks: Scarlet in a flight suit, Night Force ripcord, and these 2 pit crew figures. All of them kind of cool, I think. I'm not sure I'm wild about the blue Scarlet, but I'm glad it's Scarlet.
I actually just watched the episode from season 2 where Scarlet was running around in a blue pilot suit for some reason.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's the international.
The other night, it was on the Sunbow cartoon. She was flying a Conquest in season 2 in an episode with a blue suit on.
Yeah.
And
is her waist piece just bat brown or what?
I couldn't tell you. I wasn't paying that much attention.
Must have been a harrowing flight,
right? But I love the pit crew.
Yeah.
Like that's the sort of thing that G.I. Joe, if it's gonna lack one thing, it was always support staff. Like back in the day, if they were gonna charge you $125 for a flag, shouldn't there have been just a couple of nameless sailors out there to run those flags? Or rather the flashlights. Shouldn't there have been somebody to drive that little armory, weapons transport? Shouldn't there? And finally going to get those guys in unlock number 3. Should we get to 18,000 backers?
Well, and I didn't check recently, but a couple hours ago, I think it was at 3,000 backers already. So
yeah, it's really gotten hot out of the gate. Night Force ripcord's kind of neat.
Mm-hmm.
Different.
I guess I shake my head a little bit because not too many guys intentionally parachute out of a Tomcat. But if you think you're going to get shot down, bring ripcord along.
Right.
But for a throw in, cool. Yeah, I'm all right with it.
It's a stretch goal.
Yeah.
Biff McConkie Donk adds that he wishes it was a Tiger Force ripcord to give us that figure we were promised 35 years ago. We were not promised, Philip. We're not promised.
Yeah. Well, and this isn't ripcord. This is rip cord. So it might be a totally different guy. Who knows?
It's Rip Taylor's nephew.
Oh, that's good to know.
He comes with parachute, a rifle, and a handful of confetti.
and it's a niche crowd to go after. But if you own a USS flag, you're dying for unlock 3 to get settlers, right?
Yeah.
Gotta have those guys.
Yeah. Look, this is what I like about this is, at a time when vintage G.I. Joe stuff is exploding in value, right? This became a very attainable, and I hesitate to use the term, but it's going to get tossed around out there. This is a very attainable grail type item for people. Like a lot of folks don't have $250 to spend on an old Sky Striker that they then have to go and put work into to make it look good. But I'll figure out a way to put together $250 to get something that I don't have to put that kind of work into, that might get me extra figures and has all this extra bonus stuff. And yeah, I mean, this is a great package for the price. And again, a worthy adversary for the RoboSkull.
And they focused on it late. I thought they were going to forget about it. The stand that it goes on is completely articulated.
Yes.
So you can make it bank, you can make it as though it's taking off, you can make it so it's diving. The stand is ridiculous. So
yeah, that's a real piece of work.
Yeah. And I want to thank John Comer for getting in on the comment there. The misspell is regrettable, but you see what I'm talking about?
No.
Right underneath the gray Sky Striker when they're popping up comments from the live feed. Yes, right underneath there in white.
I can't read it. It's too small.
Says O-ring means no more brutal chest cuts.
John Comer's your guy.
Yeah, I may have had a hand in that, but whatever.
It's time for you to do a mad cackle, Mark.
Right? No, I'm not that kind of guy.
Yes, you are. Come on.
But if I were, I might bring up that back on August 18th, 2021, you might have seen some of this stuff float by on your interwebs.
Perhaps.
So if that's good news if you're a Crimson Guard or a Zartan or a Dusty fan.
Or a Cobra Officer fan, or a Stalker fan, or a Crimson Twins fan.
Yeah. So just be happy with that, and if you take a shot at the king, don't miss.
Oh, Joey Bats.
That's what I'm talking about.
Maybe you should have had current Yankee Rougned Odor punching out Joey Bats.
Not a bad, that would have been bad either.
That might have worked okay.
But Joey Bats took that hit. We're looking at more of a flawless victory here.
He did. We will. Many sads of no Tiger Force Duke. We'll get there. Relax. We'll get there. It's so easy.
There you go. That's all I got.
That's all we got.
That's all you got. Just that.
But right. Just an hour and 12 minutes of stuff to talk. We've officially gone longer than the panel did.
I mean, realistically, the panel went really well.
Yeah. Very enjoyable panel. They really seemed to enjoy what they were doing up there.
Yep.
Which is not something that we've necessarily gotten in the past.
Nope. Their best delivered panel ever. Great. The low point is the Python Patrol Bat, and we're looking at that as like C-, Yeah. But that's the low point, right? Everything they showed us today was good to great. So, and some of it completely unforeseen. Oh, look at this. Speaking of unforeseen, he kind of looked like Joey Batista walking by.
Right.
Good to see you, Joey.
So bad.
But nobody, as far as I know, nobody had any wind of the Sky Striker or the return of the O-ring. So
no, trust me, I was digging.
Yeah.
Nothing. Not a murmur, not a whisper, not an anything.
It's almost like they tightened up their security in the last 6 weeks.
Right.
Just saying. But it's pretty much a tip of the cap. Everything they showed us today is pretty slick. They surprised us with some stuff that's fantastic. I really hope the community gets behind that Sky Striker because it took a long time for us to get the first HasLab Joe offering.
Right.
And if this one doesn't go, you think you're going to see another Sesame Street offering? Which is a shame because the one they did was fantastic.
Cookie Monster was awesome. Had I not been in dire straits, I'd have been all over Cookie Monster.
Yeah. So I think it released at the same. I think there was another one at the same time, and it was COVID-ish, and that one was a shame. But I think a little bit unfairly, we're not going to see another Sesame Street HasLab for a while. We don't want Joe to fall into that rut. So
what I want is to get one of these that I can fit a couple of beachheads in, a new pilot beachhead. That's what I'm after.
Could you imagine being stuck in a cockpit with beachhead?
That would be terrible.
Whew.
Be terrible. I think Mainframe told us all about that.
That's what I'm talking about.
Be terrible. Although maybe another beachhead wouldn't necessarily matter.
Yeah.
I'll have to get 13 of them to get all my guys accommodated.
I think that works.
Mark, what's your big winner today, Mark? What's the one?
It's got to be the Sky Striker. Just that I can't imagine what else you would have put in there, right? Like I thought when I first saw it, I bet they didn't get the tail fins. Nope, they sure did.
Right there.
Right? They got the Wayne Ruthel. The one thing they got Ace's name wrong on the side of it. We'll see if I can drop that note in someone's ear and get that fixed. They have it as Captain J. Armbruster. It's actually Brad J. Armbruster. So He can be Captain Armbruster or Captain B Armbruster. He just can't be Captain J Armbruster. So anyway, I'll see if I can get that in the right hands. But other than that, and that's ticky-tack. That's fixable even. But it's brilliant. They didn't miss anything. The price is a little up there, but it's not, it's not more than I think people expected for what they're getting. I love the stretch goals. I just think they hit it out of the park with the Sky Striker and kept it quiet so they got to break that. That's the best. So
the last thing we need is punk podcasters busting everything.
Mm-hmm.
Real quick, before we get to Joe Colton, I want to take this question from Crocodile Joel McMullen. Pre-order on Big Bad Toy Store is listed as Spirit, Storm Shadow, and a surprise figure. Is the surprise the Bat? No, it is not. We don't have a release date on the Bat yet. I think that is a surprise figure in name only, in that they don't know which existing figure is going to be packed out with those two. Would be my guess. Again, absolute conjecture here, but I don't think there's any lurking in the weeds, jumping out to surprise us later kind of figure for this on its first release. I think we just don't know who's going to be packed in the box with Spirit and Storm Shadow.
The one thing that we got in our initial break back in August, that line was listed as Storm Shadow, Spirit, and Cobra Officer.
Right.
So maybe
it's possible, because that's something that might not even use any new parts.
Right.
But so I wouldn't throw it out. But if I had to take a guess, I would say they just don't know which version of Block they're going to pack it with.
Yeah, that may have changed. But given that we got everything else friggin' correct.
Right. Joe Colton, your big winner today.
I'm going to go with Spirit.
There you go.
Yeah. Got to.
Yeah, he's slick.
I'm with Mark. I'm Sky Striker all the way. And I mean, Spirit's a huge win. Love him. Absolutely. Looks like he should be going to be one of the best Joes we've gotten.
Yeah.
Man, that's Sky Striker.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, it really is.
But I have no room.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do.
You can hang it.
It's got a stand. It comes with its own space. Got a stand.
That's how it works, but okay.
Ryan Sweeney says the big winner was Fiona.
That's the name of the Croc. Yeah.
I mean, Fiona may be physically the largest winner, that's for certain. But yeah, it's a good one.
I want to get a couple of the Crocs and put them on the Sky Striker so he can deploy them. So good.
Like missiles.
Sounds like a Ratchet and Clank weapon, but fine.
So I mean, just a good day. I can't remember a day where I felt this good about everything that happened. Not in a long time. Not since maybe when they first announced Classified was going to drop. After the hiatus.
I think a day where everything went that well, I'd probably have to go back to one of my wedding days.
One of them.
One of them.
I meant in regards to the hobby, Mark.
Oh,
regards to the hobby.
Yeah, or the day one of my kids was born. I forget.
Right. I was about to say, do I need to clear the couch off? Are you going to be coming by?
How long a drive is it?
It's not too long.
Yeah, put on some coffee.
Right, there we go. There we go. So let's take a minute here before we get into the hoary afterglow of today's news and get a word from our sponsors.
We buy, sell, and trade vintage and modern toys. G.I. Joe, Star Wars, Transformers, Marvel, DC, and more. Located in beautiful downtown Kokomo, Indiana, we are open every Wednesday through Saturday from 12 to 5. It's a theme park of nostalgia. Join the thousands of people who have traveled from all over the Midwest for over a decade to buy and sell with us. Get your geek on.
Head on out to Kokomo Toys. You can see Charlie Garrison wearing his Georgian Diablo t-shirt.
I'm so proud of myself for pre-turning down the audio just a little bit for that lightsaber pop at the end. The first week, it hasn't scared me half to death.
I have to tell Todd to get more of that in the next one.
Right? Just drop it in randomly. Come to Kokomo Toys. Man. That's one thing. Andrew over in the comments is saying he pre-ordered the Outback with ease. I haven't read anything about how the Target pre-orders went today, and that's not something I participate in. So I'm not trying to be coy, even though I'm being coy. So I don't know how that went. Do we know if it went any better?
I ordered it 10 after 5 and had no problems. So I'm probably the wrong person to ask.
Well, you're in for now.
Yeah, for the moment till they cancel.
Yeah,
which it's at the point where they have to prove it to me that they won't before I'll. Anyways, so let's move into what we got in. Mark Weber, what'd you get in this week?
I got in. I'll keep it quick, but I got in. Look at that. Look at this card from the side. It's like,
Woo!
Appreciate the bubble mailer,
right.
Walmart for my Cobra officers, but I got 3, so that's good.
He's coming out of the package, isn't he?
Yeah, probably. I'm not gonna fight him on it. But this one is a big deal, and I got to make sure. I've been friends with this guy online, but I want to make sure I got his name pronounced correctly. So it's John Cremines.
Yes.
And John hooked me up with the declassified sightline figures.
There we go.
Never had. And the whole idea of this is they're not supposed to be sold. They're supposed to be passed about so they get into collectors' hands.
Mm-hmm.
And I've always been very, very clear that I never met Gary Goggles, or Gary had never had any interaction with him one-to-one, but I knew who he was when I was a Joe fan working at McFarlane Toys. And it was my idea that we would give him, we would honor his life and contribution to the brand by getting the sightline figure made. And the figure was already going to be made, but because it was covered head to toe and showed not even skin tone, it was my argument that we could make this a tribute that, if approved by the family, would not be legally actionable for likeness in any way.
Sure.
And Daryl pitched that up to legal because he had a lot more pull than me, Daryl DePriest. And Daryl reached out to the family because he knew Gary. And so he got it. He got that boulder rolled uphill. It was my idea. And I was privately just a little bit miffed that I didn't get one of these sightline figures. So John had a line on one, got it to me. I offered to pay for it. He said, absolutely not. So in the spirit of what Declassified did, which is fantastic, and in the spirit of what Gary was like in the hobby, I was really, really pleased to get that this week.
I apologize as somebody who's involved with Joe Declassified. I just we had them available at the booth, but if you didn't know to ask for it at the booth, it's and that's just, it's one of those things that it never occurred to me 5 years later that would have been the case until you said something a couple weeks ago.
And I was on the brand at the time, right?
Right.
Yeah.
So I was a little tied to my own booth.
Right.
at the time. So.
And again, you're not even worried about us setting up at that over there at that particular moment. So you're not going to know the scuttlebutt on.
Yeah.
Oh, well, go ask for one, right?
Right.
So yeah,
I'd like to, but Daryl's on the floor buying stuff, and somebody's got to run the booth.
Right.
Which
for buying another bug.
To his credit, seeing Daryl skip back to the booth holding up a Conquest. And I'm like, I know you have 5 of those. It's like, I know, but it's in great condition.
It's really good. They
need more VPs like that. But anyway, so I wasn't mad at anybody in particular, but I was just a little disappointed that I had missed out, because I like to think I had more than a thumbprint in that salute. So I was really, really happy to get this. So John, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. That's what I'm talking about. And that's what I got.
That's our boy Creamy right there.
That's what I got in this week.
That's the guy I used to run CoilCon with.
Solid.
And when we decided, as Joe Declassified, when we decided to do a figure, who was the guy that said we need to do sightline?
Right there.
So
good call.
Yeah, I mean, we've kind of come full circle on this.
That's what I'm talking about.
Joe Colton, what'd you get in?
I didn't get anything in.
Come on, that's a lie.
It was your anniversary.
Happy anniversary, Joe Colton.
Last week.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. But
thank you.
I remember the service like it was yesterday. It was beautiful.
I don't remember it at all.
Oh wait, no, we We got frozen out on that one.
Yeah.
I heard it went off like a dream.
And then Wes's mom made fun of Mark.
Yes, she did. Yes, she did. I deserved it.
It was. You were fast.
I'm sure you were very gracious.
I was so comfy.
He was. He was like he was so comfortable he didn't care.
Slept like
Well, Mark is a very humble and gracious person, so
I'm working on that.
not everyone is like that.
But I would have thought there was an anniversary gift to show off or something.
Oh, so we went to Gordon Ramsay's restaurant for dinner.
Did he come out and yell at you?
No, but I got an autographed photo that said "Happy Anniversary."
That's cool.
Oh, very nice. Was it from Gordon Ramsay or just the wait staff?
No, he comes in every so often and signs a bunch. So.
Oh, very cool.
I still think it would have been better if he would have come out and gone, "That's a salad fork."
I asked Wes when he was eating, I was like, "Did you use your salad fork?" And he was like, "I used the outside one." And I was like, "That's your salad fork."
Well done.
Correct. Well done, Wes.
Yeah, he's like,
wrist lock.
outside in, right? Outside in. And I was like, yes.
So it's a remake of My Fair Lady with you and Wes?
I mean, he is a former pro wrestler. You have to.
You don't know.
You got to educate him on some of this.
I got news for you.
They don't know anything.
Future pro wrestler. Just saying.
If you know, they get a meal with utensils at all, it's kind of new territory.
That's true.
Yeah, it's great.
You know,
so, just last question: what did you order at the super restaurant?
So I did oysters, and they had 3 different sauces, which were like really good. We did a lobster risotto as our appetizer, and a crab cake as our other appetizer.
You can take the boy out of Baltimore.
That way we could share. So it was good.
Share.
And then share. No, we did. We do like sharing.
Okay.
And then he ordered a beef Wellington because I've made beef Wellington several times, and he was like, I need to have like a Gordon Ramsay beef Wellington.
he needs to be able to judge.
Right. And I was like, I'm so nervous. So, and then I ordered the 20-inch bone-in ribeye.
Good Lord.
With a loaded baked potato on the side.
You're a girl after my own heart, Joe. I think that's why we do this show together.
You killed that steak, didn't you?
I did. Like I left like enough for I could have finished it.
Yeah.
But I left like this much of it so I can have like some the next day for lunch.
Got a little tear forming.
See, I would have bet that at one point Wes looked over at an empty plate and said, "Wasn't there a bone in there?"
So So I'm not quite a lady, but I took the bone home as well so I could clean it properly.
So you give it to the dog, right?
No,
No
me.
dog. There's no dog.
There is no dog.
I assume it was dessert.
Yes. So he had the cheesecake mousse with a marzipan on top.
Ooh.
On pistachio crust. It's so good. And I had the chocolate peanut butter bar with a vanilla scoop and caramel like across the
a steak that big sounds like something D. Bache would eat in 5 minutes for coupons.
I know, but if you want to go, you and I can race.
I think the meal sounds like a
You have
tie,
a competitive eater in your zip code,
right? I think the meal sounds like a tie, especially because you were sharing.
Yeah.
But you kicked Wes's ass on the dessert.
Yeah.
Yes, you did.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Chocolate and peanut butter bar. That doesn't lose anywhere.
No.
We're at Gordon
Sarah,
Ramsay's.
let the cat
If
See,
you're
if he had
Gordon
creme
Ramsay's
brulee, I
there's
totally
dairy.
would have got creme brulee. But the moment I saw that peanut butter bar, I'm like, no. She's like, are you sure you don't want the pudding? And I was like, no.
Pudding.
Pudding's great for like if you make it at home as a quick dessert, but you don't go out for pudding.
Pudding
Yeah.
sucks.
Well, they had some special pudding thing, and I was like, no.
Pudding sucks.
No, pudding.
But the real kicker were the
sucks.
drinks. So they had like themed drinks
Oh,
there, like a Hell's Kitchen drink, and then they were all very refreshing drinks. So, and they gave us 2 champagne glasses with champagne, obviously, for our anniversary.
I love that our live chat is going off in the direction of the old 96er from
They're like, oh, they're just talking now.
from the great outdoors. They're going off on that's the tangent that the live chat has gone on tonight. Well done, gentlemen. Well done. Yeah, Tim Peterson questions restaurant quality pudding.
Right.
I'm sorry, guys. So they had actually 2 menus. One was a la carte, and the other was $140. And it was like the 3 meals or the 3 courses. So the lady was just like, we forgot to put the 21-ounce steak on the oh my god, the 140.
The all-in.
Yeah, the
Joe Colton's like, menu. I blacked out after 21-inch steak. Bring that.
Yeah, I was like, give me that.
Bring that.
I was just remembering like how juicy it was in my mind went like picturing the steak again. And so I was like, yes, but I would like the lobster risotto as well. And she goes, well, I can just add that on and see what I can do. And I was like, okay.
See, that's what you call tipping big. That's
what we tipped well.
I think I like that this conversation started with, I didn't get anything in this week. And now we've heard the details of your 8,000 calorie meal.
Right. We are 8 minutes into our food porn segment.
Right. Yeah. It was that steak. So the meat is cured in Himalayan salt for 3 months. And when you walk in, it's just there in the window, like, and they've got tags with dates and stuff, and you're just like, oh, so like I'm at the window, like just looking. She's like, people don't usually look at that. I was like, shh.
Right.
You're going, shh. You're putting your finger up to her lips. Quiet now. Quiet now.
You don't need to speak. I know what I'm looking at. This is.
Mama's looking at the steak.
Right. Nice to meet you.
Mama's talking to the meats.
So I was also gonna one of my other options was lamb because he does a really good lamb, and Wes is like, you can't beat a Greek making lamb. What is wrong with you?
Good time. Well
and
done.
I was like, all right.
Yeah.
I think I chose wisely.
I think you did good.
Yep.
They had Wagyu, and then they had what is it called? It's literally like by the ounce. It's a Japanese
Kobe,
yeah. And it's like sliced, and the minimum was 3 ounces, and it was $40 an ounce.
Yeah.
I was like, do you want to get that? And he was like, I don't know what that is.
Right.
It's just really tasty beef.
Yeah. So good that you want to order more, and then you remember, oh yeah, $40 an ounce.
Yeah, you're not.
$40 an ounce.
Yeah.
Not exactly something you're dipping in au jus.
Right. So I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna get the 20-inch.
I'll have the 8-ounce Kobe and a bottle of A1, please.
Right.
They didn't even ask me about A1. I was like,
No.
I would smack you.
You get thrown
anything
out.
on a steak like that. She's like, how do you take your steak? I was like, medium rare, like you should.
Shh, Mama's talking to the meats.
Right. How do you take your steak? Bloody. Thank you.
Oh, medium rare is the way. Medium rare is it.
It's good. Well, our waitress was amazing. She was a hoot. She gave us a lot of options, and then she was like suggestions on the drinks, and she
baked beans are off.
Yeah. She was telling us a story about like how the Ravens, like the football team, comes in and they bring the new recruits.
Nice.
And their way of hazing them is everybody orders, and then the new guy has to pay, and like they run up the bill.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And so she was the waiter for for that group that came in, and the bill was like $11,000. And so she was talking to one of the older players, and she's like, wow, that's a lot. And he pulled up his phone, and he was like, this was mine. And it was $37,000. And she's like, we didn't do it right. And I was like, no, you should always ask the older players, like, what are we aiming for?
Right. Can you imagine what a 350-pound defensive tackle,
right,
who knows he's not paying for it?
Yeah.
How much Kobe beef you think he's ordering?
That kicks in the gear.
One guy didn't know what it was like, so he ordered like 8 ounces. And I was like,
on an $11,000 bill, that's
nothing, right?
Who cares?
But can you imagine 8 people doing that?
Right. Well.
And then sometimes on their way out of the restaurants, the Ravens kill people. So there's that too.
That's when we're in Atlanta, though.
Just saying. Yeah, they tend to do that on the road, though.
It's a road. That's a road.
It's a road thing. Yeah.
A road thing.
Yeah.
So
you might kill somebody you know. And then you feel bad.
Shh. We're talking about the meats.
I'm sorry.
Shh.
You know what? I did not have the meat sweats. I thought I would, because we had so much. Nope.
All right.
All good.
It's yeah. All right.
And I didn't have the itis either.
Proud of you.
I got Wes did give me like blue. Oh my god. It's my birthstone.
Meat. Ribeye.
It's not the meat. Owl earrings with a blue stone in them, and then a heart necklace with a blue stone in it.
Okay. Topaz?
Yes.
Thank you.
I'm still dreaming about the meat.
You said topaz. I said ribeye. I think I win.
Yeah.
I mean, your answer's better, but
I know. Oh, I know what the ladies like.
Right.
And it was like bone in. I was like, no.
I have a few things in transit, but I did not get anything new this week either.
Okay.
So at the risk of Joe Colton drooling all over her keyboard, Mark, why don't we roll into shout outs?
I'm giving a shout out to Elizabeth Weber.
Oh.
Broke her pinky and ring finger in goal last Sunday on a point blank shot by a gal, like 4 feet in front of her, just wham, right through business hand. She's not a goalie, but our 2 goalies were gone, so it was short straw, and she was in at the end. So she legit broke 2 fingers on her left hand, didn't complain, and didn't sub out. Finished the game, came over and said, "These are hurting pretty bad, Dad." And I said, "All right, I'll get you some ice." And I didn't have any handy. So we stopped at a 7-Eleven, and I got her some M&Ms, her favorite. And I checked out with like one small thing of M&Ms. And the guy just handed it to me. I said, "Can I get a bag?" And he looked at me like I'm a freak, but whatever. I got my plastic bag. Thank you. Then the M&Ms go in the pocket, and I go to the ice machine. I fill that bad boy up with ice, go out to the car, pass a guy who's walking up with a bag of ice to pay for it. Sucker. Didn't you know ice is free? So anyway, her pinky and her ring finger are broken, but they aren't terrible breaks. She's in a cast that'll probably be 3 weeks, but they'll heal themselves. No scar or no surgery. So for Biz Weber finishing out the game with broken fingers and not complaining, that's not just a shout out, but a salute to Miss Weber. So that's who I got this week.
All right, awesome. See, as I asked you on Facebook, you never put up a picture of the kid's face that she punched.
Right.
So, whatever. Joe Colton, who we shouting out to?
I'm gonna shout out to my husband, who is awesome.
The wrist lock.
And I'm also gonna shout out to my parents, who took the tablet outside, and I got to see the backyard for a little bit, and like they were giving me a tour, and so my mom handled the tablet very well. So.
Nice.
So were you getting reintroduced to all of your moose friends?
Yes.
Okay.
They walked me to the neighbor who they use their Wi-Fi, and so I got to talk to the neighbor for a bit.
All right.
It's great. It's the little things.
Exactly. They're trying to keep you involved.
Yes. Also, I would like to give a shout out to my friend Julie, who I needed headshots for work. And they told me like at 4 p.m. one day, and I needed them for the next day, like at 9 a.m. the latest. And she was like, I was like, please. She had to, like, as I was asking, she offered to do it. And so I had
A quality work headshot.
Yeah.
Did you go with Hella? Hella's my favorite.
No, I actually was trying to find a picture of me not in costume that was presentable, and it was either selfies or costume photos, and I was like, I don't think this is gonna work. I tried to use my icon that they use at work for your like badge and like what you use on your email, and they're like, not that one, and I was like, but it's like right there, and they're like, no. I'm like,
was that weird picture where she's in the business suit with the Loki headgear. It was
right.
Kind of halfway there, but
yeah.
You should have gone with Hella, man. You get a whole new level of respect at work.
There, another cosplayer friend of ours that she also is in the same line of work. She was telling me, she's like, I'm trying to find a picture. So, because she needed headshots, and she's like, I'm gonna use either the graduating one where we took a trip to the White House. Or, and I was like, aren't you, that was like 15 years ago? She goes, yeah, but I think I can like blur it a little bit so I look okay. I'm like, oh my God.
Business
like,
suit.
Or it's me as a witch.
Business suit with the crimson asp eye patch.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
It's like, sounds like those guys who haven't updated their LinkedIn picture in like 20 years. And you're like, come on.
Yeah.
Dude.
So my LinkedIn picture is me during lunch outside of the building that I work at. It's a selfie.
Tearing meat
I'm eating
off
lunch. But I was like, oh, it's nice. And the wind was blowing just right. I was like, click. That's my LinkedIn profile.
Nice.
I was like, this? They're like, no, professional. So I've got two now. I'm leaning up against, I look like a lawyer leaning up against the tree.
Mm-hmm.
Or I'm behind a greenery bush, and I'm just like.
Oh, there you go.
And there's another one where she's pushing up the Leaning Tower of Pisa.
That's a good one.
Right.
Anyway.
Ridiculous. Anybody else you shout out for?
That's it.
All right. I'm going to shout out to our fourth man and the unsung hero of the What's on Joe Mind team, Racktime Rob.
Ole.
Sitting down the hall. We've been making him laugh, so I know it's a good show tonight. Also give a shout out to our wonderful sponsors at Kokomo Toys. We'll very quickly sing the theme song. Kokomo Toys.
Kokomo Toys.
Joe Colton, I can't hear you.
Kokomo Toys.
That's the second verse.
Whatever.
I don't know what is happening.
Give a shout out to our man Creamy. Finally,
right.
Never hooked up with a sight line.
Yes.
Give a shout out to our boy Gary Head for being great enough to have a figure.
That's right. Two
of them, no less.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A legitimate one and a stylish knockoff.
Mm-hmm.
Give a shout out to the Hasbro team. Did a great job today.
Yep.
Wonderful reveals and a great job keeping some secrets, despite us. Give a shout out to our folks who are watching us live tonight, to everybody who's catching us on recording. We appreciate your bearing with us and sticking with. We switched schedules on you. It's not Friday, it's Saturday, but here you are with us in even bigger numbers. So we really appreciate that. Again, if you're here and you're not subscribed, please go ahead and subscribe. Like our video. If you're watching us on Facebook, hop on over to YouTube, subscribe to us there. But while you're on Facebook, go ahead, give us a little emoticon, give us a thumbs up, give us a heart, give us a little huggy guy. We love the huggy guy. Just so Facebook knows that you're watching and we can get a better distribution there too. To my co-hosts, to Mark Weber, to Joe Colton, thank you both so much. I know it's been a busy day for all of us. We had a lot going on, and still here we are pulling it together and getting this done. Mark, you did all the production work there.
I did this.
Yeah. Hey, whatever.
Power pointing.
Whatever, man. That's it. The PowerPoint's a big part of what we do. It's an easy way to show off photos. So
who points better than me? Nobody.
That is a PowerPoint. We get that every week.
Get ready for it.
Right. We're there for you. And give a shout out to everybody who's still out there struggling and dealing with this pandemic. Please remember, when you're out in crowds and in situations where there's just a lot of people around, wear your mask. If you're not vaccinated, go get vaccinated. And let's get this thing beaten down so we don't have another lost winter and then a bad spring and a bad summer afterwards, because we're just not doing what we need to do to keep ourselves healthy. And that's it. We're going to get out here. We're going to get out here shorter this week than we did last week. Who knew?
And we had news. And we
had lots of news. We had real news. We got a mail call episode coming, so keep an eye out for that in the next week. Where our good friend Carson stops in and helps us out with an in-depth question for Der Postsocken. And so again, keep an eye out for that. For my co-hosts Mark Weber and Joe Colton, I'm Mike Irizarry. Be sure to join us next Friday at 9 p.m. For another edition of the What's on Joe Mind TeamStream. We will see you then. Be good to one another. Stay safe. And if you can't stay safe, be careful. Have a great rest of the night.